So one of the ideas to start with this is that you have to understand how to graph. So what do you know about the shape? You know it's a parabola. You probably should also understand something else with this parabola. Where's some kind of shift, or should we get x-intercepts or y-intercepts, or what do you want to do? I would probably GCF it. And understand there's x-intercepts at 0 and at 2. So the parabola will dip down in that region, right? Okay, and then it says we want to go from 2 to 10 using 4 sections. So if I was to go from 2 to 10 with 4 sections, what would be my next markers?
4, 6, and 8.
Okay, so the first one says rectangles from the left. So you need to go to 2 and draw a cross, which is just flat. You need to go to 4 and draw a cross from 4. Start at 6, go across from 6, and at 8, go across from 8. Okay, you do not, on this one, do any rectangle from the 10. If you did rectangles from the right, you would start at 10 and not do anything at 2. Okay, I can already tell you the height of this is 0. Okay, 4 squared minus 2 times 4 is 8. $24 and 48.
So you do the square and then minus 2.
I'm plugging, like, so how did I get 48? I just went like this. 8 squared minus 2 times 8. Just plug the 8 in. Yeah, just plug whatever you want in. Okay, so the area is the height times the width. Each of these sections, they should all be 2 wide on this one. So 0 times 2, 8 times 2, 24 times 2, 48 times 2. Okay, if you want faster typing, this is another little trick you can do, is just GCF the 2 out. So you can just add that and times by 2 as well. That would work because you are GCFing a 2 out if you like tricks and shortcuts. So I'm getting 160 square units for an area. So this prediction, what do you think? Would be a good prediction, pretty low, pretty high, what?
Low.
It'd be like below the actual, right?
Oh, new bottle.
Yeah, my last,
Stanley.
that last one that
You
I,
did Stanley?
no. Get out of here, I'm just a teacher.
What?
I said, get out of here, I'm just a teacher.
How is it Stanley?
Yeah, she has a better job than me. That red apple pays pretty good.
Right up.
Okay, midpoints was the next one I wanted you to do. So you're drawing your rectangles from the middle.
Wait, what about the right?
I didn't have it on this question. Do you want me to do it? I can do it.
No.
It's just
Yeah.
The which one?
the right.
Oh.
Rectangles from the right. I didn't do it on this one. Okay, so do you guys know what you're doing on these? You're going to have to plug in a 3. So 3 squared minus 2 times 3. Okay, so use the x values that are in the middle of those sections. Bless you. So I got 232 if anybody is matching. Do you need a calculator? Are you gonna not drop this?
Yeah.
Okay, midpoint, that should be a pretty close estimate. Bless you.
Yeah.
No, I dropped myself.
What was that?
I figured off, like, I'm not gonna fail.
Yeah. What was your safety grade?
I don't know. They tried to give me this class. I'm not gonna.
You don't remember what it was?
Okay, last one is trapezoid shapes. So you guys know what a trapezoid looks like. That's a trapezoid. Okay, so you have to do base 1 plus base 2, average them. Average those two times the width or whatever you want to be doing here. Okay, don't we have all these values from the first one except for 10? So we had a 0, we had the 8, 24, 48, and 80, right? Okay, so the average of the wonky walls times the width. So that's what I'm doing, the average of the two sides that are not the same. Okay, average times across. And because all the widths were 2, that helps with the math because all these divide by 2's can cross off. And if you want, you can do this. Because you would go 0 plus 8 plus 8 plus 24 plus 24. So you actually will have 2 of all these except for the exterior walls. You only have 1 of them. You only use them once, right? Because you use 8 in this trapezoid and that trapezoid. So if you want a little bit of a quicker way to type, okay, you know what? Let's do the actual just for fun. See if we are pretty close with our estimate. So let's do the actual. So how do you format an area? You do the integral from 2 to 10 of this equation with respect to x. That's the how to do the area. Okay, ready? Go up. So x cubed, there was a 1 divided by the 3. Go up, so x squared, 2 divided by the 2 is just 1.
That deserves a candy.
Okay, then what do? You plug in the 10 into what you get, plug in the 2, subtract them.
I hate these ones for calculating. The calculators. Yeah.
Actually, those estimates were pretty good. The midpoint and the trapezoid were right in between them.
This one's way off.
Okay, so this section would be me giving you some pretty easier ones. Okay, so the format is that you can do a big f of x there. Okay, so you always go up, so x to the 7th, and then you take what you had and divide it by the exponent, so 7 divided by 7 is 1. Go up, so a 4th degree, and you have an 8 divided by 4 now, which is 2. If you go up, you would have to add an x onto it. That's going up. And I expect you to do what else?
Plus C.
Plus c. Okay, here's something your brain is better at. You're better at deriving. You can take what you have here and derive it on the side, and you should get back to the question, right? Okay, I'm going to rewrite this whole question here. So I'm going to go 4, and then I'm going to change the square root of x to a 1/2. I noticed that on your rules test, some of you forgot all these weird rules.
Are you looking at him?
Hey.
No? Lots of people did.
Over there.
This stuff, people were forgetting how to write that. 5x to a negative 3. Okay, I'm also going to change the format of this last one. I'm going to change it to a 2/5 x5. Okay, just so that I have that compartments of front, top. You know what I mean? I always like the front part. I don't want this divided. Okay, here we go. What's the up? What do you get if you go up on that half? 3/2. Okay, now here's what we have to do. 4 divided by 3/2. That's what you're going to have to do. 4 divided by 3/2. Without your calculator. Flip multiply. So if I put the 2 on the top, I get 8/3.
You just stocked up for your.
Okay, next term. What do you get if you go up from -3? -2. So the 5 divided by the -2. I'm going to just write it as a negative because there was a plus there, so now I'm going to subtract. And we need to go up, so this would be a x to the 6th. So I need to do a 2/5 divided by 6. Because I had a 2/5 there, and you always have to divide by your new exponent. So flip multiply is 1/6. 2/30. Plus 8.
Oh, I see.
Okay, obviously if you put 1/15, great. If you leave it as 2/30, great. Don't matter.
That one was tough.
Okay, next one, I'm going to show you at me doing it wrong, and then maybe we're going to hit a red flag. How would you rewrite this? 9x -1. This is wrong. So what happens if you go up from -1?
0.
0, and then I divide by 0, and that makes a red flag. So I can't do it. So what am I recognizing? You remember this one? ln. Okay. So if you ever have the ln of x, what does it derive to? 1/x. But I need to put a 9 in there somewhere. So what do you want to do with our starter? 9 ln x. I also think this would work if you did ln of 9x. No, that wouldn't work. Just kidding. Nope. Don't pretend you just didn't hear my last 20 seconds.
It's that simple.
Okay, and what do you do again? Take your answer, scrap paper, derive it. Did you get to where you needed to get? Okay, what's your guess? How would we start something and then derive it to the cos? Sine of 5x. Okay, don't look at your answer. Don't look at your answer. Ready? Take your guess and derive it. So cos 5x, attach a 5. Okay, uncover, did we match? Not quite. I don't want this 5 here. I want a 1. So how do I deactivate the 5?
1/5.
I put 1/5 in front of my guess. Okay. Next one, what do you think you started with? What's the idea that you started with? What would you have to derive it to look like that? X, or e to the x squared, right? Okay, so this is my basic where I started. Okay, so derive that, and you get e to the x squared, repeat, and attach a 2x. Okay, did your prediction match? No, I actually need a 4x. So now what do I need to add with my guess? I need to put a 2 in front of my guess. Okay, so the big thing is get that foundation of what you could have started with.
This what?
You forgot this.
Really? Jesus Christ.
I know.
Okay, so this section is called a definite integral because the bounds. When there's boundaries like that, that's a definite. Okay, so go up x squared. Your 6 divided by your 2 is a 3. Go up, which means to place an x on there.
You have to do that. Okay. Yeah. You still have to
And
give me-
from 2 to 6.
Okay.
Yeah, she called you. If the time's right.
Well, there's, I bet $50 on it.
Yeah, that's the story.
Can I ask you or just stories are game?
Or else I lose 50.
If you don't do it, you do. I'll give you 3 days.
Okay, how did our answer go? 88?
Okay.
Matching?
I'll never use
Okay, next one. 1 over x. If you don't recognize it, you're kind of going to get stuck. It is a ln. The antiderivative is the ln. I will give you your rule sheet. Remember that little formula sheet? I'm going to give you that. Okay, this one, I'm going to put a star beside it. It seems to be a little bit of a tricky one for people. So when you have this at the end of it, it means with respect to x. So x is the variable you're deriving with. So a is not a variable. A is part of the coefficient stuff. Does that make sense if I say it like that? A is a coefficient. A is not the variable that you're dealing with. So if this is really just a coefficient, what do? You add go up an x. That's it. And then the next one, you go up an x. So x squared, 6 divided by the 2 is 3. Okay, now again, you're doing this with respect to x, so your plugins need to replace the x's. Okay, so this one I got 30a squared right there. And I'm going to guess I'm going to catch a quarter of you doing this next one wrong. Right there, I'm going to catch some of you. Think deep about it.
27, that's my guess.
I guess that too.
Yeah, I guess too. Oh.
It is 27.
She tricked me.
I knew it.
Because here's what I get, people forgetting that you have to square that and just squaring the a, but they forget they have to square that 3. So square the 3, and then there's still times the 3 there. Okay, the next section is a little bit of, I would say, the harder integrals. So, do you see this? This word indefinite integral is because there's no bounds. So you're just going to get an equation plus c. That's the indefinite part. Okay, what is your guess? You have to make an educated guess on what did we have to start with to turn it into that. So tell me how you'd like to start. You would have started with this unit to the 8. Okay, I highly recommend this. Cover that up. Don't look at it anymore. Okay, I need you to derive this now. Derive your guess. So you need what? 8 of those units to the 7. Attach a 45x4. And I'm going to put this together as a 360. Okay, now I'm going to reveal. Did we match? Okay, we're very close. So I need to turn 360 into a 35. So I need to times by what to turn it into 35. So you just divide. So 35 over 360 in front of my guess plus C. Okay, B. You have to develop your guess or else you're not going to get very far. Okay, what do you think we started with? What's your educated guess here? Cos 7x to the 5. We started with a cos 7x to a 5 because I ended up with a cos 7x to a 4 somehow. Okay, would we have seen that? Okay, cover. Okay, I'm going to derive my guess. You ready? 5 of those units to the 4th. 5 of the units to the 4th. Attach the derivative. So what's the derivative of a cos item? Negative sine 7x. Attach a 7, right? Because now you have to attach the derivative of 7x. Okay, I'm going to put some stuff together, making a negative 35. Okay, how close did I get?
Very close.
Okay, so this was there, this was there. So negative 35, and I needed a 5. So how do I deactivate that? What are you going to times by? Okay, and again, if you had negative 5 over 35, that's good too.
What's your guess?
Okay. So if you see something that looks like this, what's your guess that you started with? You should do an ln of the bottom.
The guess is the biggest.
Okay, so cover and then work. So I'm going to go with the u prime over u formula when I drive this. U prime over u. So I'm going to get 27x squared, 8x over the original.
Why is it 27?
Oh, why is it 27? What? 3 times 3 is actually just 9. I was cubing it. Thank you. Okay. Look at your answer and look at where we need to get to. So what do I need to change?
Times 2.
I need the top to actually get doubled. So I'm going to put a 2 in front of my guess. Pussy. Okay, so start with that guess, derive it, see how close you get, and see what changes you need to make to your guess. But you have to have that foundation of the rules to understand where you need to go. Okay, I'm going to tell you on the test that I'm going to make you graph some of this stuff as a basic little picture. You get 1 point for like a little sketch.
What's up, brother?
Okay, so tell me what you know about the sketch of this. It's a cubic.
What's up, brother?
So what do I know about the arrow situation? The arrows are going to be going like that direction. That's what I know. And kind of the next step would be I'd probably GCF it and see where it's going to hit the axis. Can we take out a 2x? So that was actually not too bad. It was at 3 different x-intercepts, make the N shape.
Was that 4x3 not a different number?
Yeah.
Ugh, you guys, my math today. That was so easy. Now it's gonna make it so hard. Where's the line?
Well, maybe we just don't have to do it.
Okay,
4 divided by
2x.
2 squared.
What is the square root of 2?
Just look up on it.
So this would be at like a 0.71, negative 0.71, and a 0. Okay, so we are going to find the area under the curve from 1 to 4. So what does that look like? It should look like this. Okay, I need you to get me an area statement. So how are you going to write that integral stuff? Give me a definite integral statement. So I'm going to integrate from 1 to 4 this equation with respect to x. So I need you to write me that. That's part of this. If you don't write me that, you're going to lose points. Okay, now do your anti-driving process. So go up. So a 4th degree, 4 divided by 4 is the new coefficient 1. Go up, 2 divided by 2. Oh, that's actually really easy.
You what?
You have to write like units.
No, that's fine. But that's technically what it is, but that's fine. Okay, find the area between this curve and the x-axis. So I'm going to make you also graph it. So let's go 0 equals. Give me factors. Let's see if I can actually do some factoring right today. Monday brain.
Commercial fish. That could be good.
Okay, so on your test, that little sketch is worth a point. Okay, I'm showing you with my visual graph, this is what I'm figuring out, the area in that. Okay, so give me your statement. I'm going to integrate from -4 to 2 this equation with respect to x.
What does the 2x subtracted? It's not a line or anything?
No, that's all
Oh.
like together like that. I think you're going to get what you're thinking of as like the next
Oh, yeah.
question. Okay,
This is crazy.
integrate. So give me that square bracket. Go up, divide. So I'm going to predict at the end of this, your answer is probably going to come out negative. Why do I think that's happening? Because this area is below. So I bet you it's going to come out as a negative answer, and that's fine. We'll just change it to positive. So I have a match, 36. Okay, so like I told you, I thought my answer was going to come out negative, and it did, and that's just the reason is because of where it's located is below the axis. But it's still an area of 36, it just happens to be below. Okay, last one. So now we're going to go between two curves. So graphing it. Tell me what you know about x cubed. Just the basic x cubed. What do you do? The arrows are going to be opposite. And where's your x-intercept on it? Your x-intercept is at 0, and it's there tripled. So what do you do to something if you're there tripled? You need to flatten. There you go. Okay. What do we know about this graph? We are a parabola. What do I know about that parabola?
Y20.
I'm just going to factor it.
No. You gave it to me. You said I could keep it. You don't have to keep it.
Wait, I thought you would do x cubed equals that. And then...
Yeah, we will.
Oh,
Because we need that for this guy right here.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just doing the, right now what I'm doing is just the graphing part of it. Okay, find the area between the two curves. So this is what I'm wanting you to draw this shaded to say, okay, that's what I'm trying to find. Okay, so this is the x value of 0. They are crisscrossing each other, so that's important. And I actually need to figure this out right here. So now I'm going to go equality and then solve. So where does this equation equal this equation? So I'm going to move to one side. I'm going to GCF an x out. Oh boy, they cross again, so I need to kind of, my drawing. I gotta revisit my drawing here. I need them to cross again, hey?
Finally switch your wallpaper from your song.
Okay, I'm just kind of
Remember his stupid face?
revamping my quadratic there.
That's the one they use something.
Okay, I'm not even going to worry about the order. I'm just going to do the same order. So I'm going to do this in 2 sections. I'm going to go from -3 to 0. And then I'm going to go x cubed minus Okay, here's a big mistake people make. So if I'm doing this minus that, do you notice how I actually had to distribute the minus sign? I have to minus the whole thing. And I'm also going to do the area from 0 to 4 of the same thing. Okay, so sometimes these shapes, if they're symmetric, we can just do one and double it. This is not that, because I'm obviously my bounds aren't symmetric, right? All right, so we're gonna go with the same equation though. So 1/4 x4, 1/3 x cubed, 6x squared. But the good news is you get to plug a 0 in, so that cuts off half your work.
Oh, this one gets a big calculator.
Yeah, I'm shortcutting this. You guys don't get to, but. Okay, are you getting these numbers? I got negative 24.75.
Well, it should be
Yeah, positive, and then like that too. Are those your numbers?
5.3.
I got
Just kidding.
53.3.
No, 5.
5.
Okay, maybe I did it wrong. 1 second. I hate this.
It should be big because it's a 4.
Oh, I got the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Negative.
53.3?
Yeah. On the one
But
section.
I got negative.
Yeah, that's fine. Just make it positive. All the negative would be is 2 situations where something is below the axis or that you did the wrong order, like the line is on top of the parabola or whatever. And it's all good, just change it to positive.